My friend Hannah has a blog called Stop Being Crap, where she improves upon things. Here's her YouTube channel. The website is sort of like a practical self-help guide from a cute girl. She recently asked me to help her out on some photography-related questions, specifically self-portraiture. I, of course, could talk all day about tips to make yourself look good in a photo, from what to wear to what kind of lighting you should use to how you can create a simple and cheap studio in your home. I actually have a video on creating self-portraits where I talk about some of those things, and here's a link to that video. But Hannah has some specific questions. Now, at the end of question 3, this video ends and you have to head over to her channel to see the conclusion. So don't think it's over after question 3. There's more questions. You just have to go see Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah and I have a blog called StopBeingCrap.com, and I like to improve random facets of my life. And one of my viewers mentioned last week photography, and I thought, yeah, sure, I want to get better at photography, especially self-portraiture. We're all taking a bunch of different photos of ourselves these days for our profile pictures on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, or sites like dailybooth.com where you take a picture of your face every single day. And I immediately thought, who is the best person I can ask about self-portraiture? The SnapChick, because she is awesome at it. And so I have prepared a couple of questions and she's going to help me out and answer them for me so I can learn and you can learn and we can all get better at taking pictures of ourselves. Number 1, what are the most flattering angles that you can take a self-portrait at?
Everyone has different good angles. Some people look good straight on. Some people look best at kind of a 3/4 profile. Some look good with their chin up, others with their chin down a little. Just by standing in front of a mirror and moving your head around, you can find your own best angle. That being said, there are a few things that I see people doing in self-portraits that, well, they're just not always so flattering. One of those things is holding the camera too high or too low. You know, like some people take the photo and they're like, look it up. Just think, when you're taking a self-portrait, try to have the camera a little more level with your face. That'll help a little bit. Another rule when taking any photo is to sit or stand up straight. No hunching.
Number 2, are there any easy, cheap ways that I can improve my lighting?
Of course there are. You can use any lighting, really. I have these hardware store lamps that I use for both video and still photos sometimes. I am actually using them right now. I got these for $29 each. You can even use lamps that you have around the house for lighting. If you're using lighting, like these work lamps or a desk lamp even, you'll want to change the white balance on your camera so you don't look yellow in the photo. When you're using a point and shoot camera, you can usually change the white balance in the menus. There should be a setting for incandescent light. It usually looks like a light bulb. There's usually even a setting for fluorescent light, just in case you have fluorescent bulbs.
Number 3. How can I get the lighting really even so I don't end up with sort of bright spots where the light's reflecting off me?
Lighting is so important in a photo. I could talk for hours on how to get great lighting, but I won't. I'll try to boil it down to the basics for you. Lots of cell phones and most point and shoot cameras have a flash built in, which can help, but sometimes the flash can be a bit unflattering. It can make you look like a deer in the headlights. A lot of times it's just too much light blasted right onto you and it makes you look pale and it creates shadows where you don't want them and reduced shadows where you do want them. So let me tell you the basics. If you're out and about using your cell phone or a point and shoot, I typically don't use the flash, or at least I'll dial it down if I can, especially if I'm taking a self-portrait like at arm's length like this. A lot of point and shoot cameras have a manual mode for the flash where you can decrease the output just so it's not so bright. Now, if you're inside taking a more formal self-portrait, let me tell you about a classic lighting setup. You'll need 2 lights and little to no flash from the camera. The lights go on either side of you at, I don't know, about 45-degree angles. You can use any kind of light though. You can use hardware store lights, you can use desk lamps if you want. Now, having 2 lights where one of them is brighter than the other one will create a nice shadowing effect. So you have some dimension in your face, but no harsh shadows. Speaking of harsh shadows, when you're using something with a bare bulb, like these work lights, or like a desk lamp where you've taken the shade off of it, you can get pretty harsh lighting. One of the things you can do that is extremely effective is to bounce the light off the ceiling or the walls. If you're using a work lamp like this one, you can turn it up to the ceiling like this, or you can just turn it around and face it at the wall so the light isn't pointed directly at you. It just creates a softer light. If you're using a lamp where you've taken the shade off, you might want to put something in between you and the lamp. It could be as simple as a large book. That way the light will not come through the book, but it'll bounce off of the wall or the ceiling or whatever, so that it'll create a nice softer effect. Be careful though, you don't want to burn the house down. Incidentally, you could even use one lamp and get a more moody look with more shadow. You'll still probably want to bounce the light though. Getting the lighting right can be pretty time consuming, especially if you're by yourself and trying to take a photo of yourself and then run between your camera and the lights to make adjustments. One of the things that I do is put in a stand-in for me while I mess around with the lighting. I happen to have a mannequin that I can use, but you could even use a stuffed animal. You'll just put it where you're going to be and you'll be able to see how much light will be on you and where the shadows are.